This is the President's Secret Forces, the Time Soldiers. I'm Colonel Stanton. This episode is called Trouble from All Sides, and that's exactly what the Time Soldiers are up against. We'll start out by cleaning up an area down in Hamilton, a place where we had to deal with near the Coral Seas. The problem was not so much with the headless men who were still running around on the island, but it was with a very smaller problem. A smaller problem that caused us nearly to lose all of our time soldiers. It seems that time soldiers are allergic to citric acid, and tsetse flies had gotten a hold of some lemon trees and lemon groves in Hamilton and ended up biting all of the time soldiers, which left us in a bad situation. Time soldiers' body temperature can go up to about 170, but if it gets up to 200, it's good night. And that's just about what the situation was with the time soldiers, as they will all be quarantined, those who are affected, as a time doctor frantically searches for an antidote to help the time soldiers before that high temperature hits 200. Meanwhile, a doctor by the name of Ernst Blofeld, who Her Majesty's Secret Service has had to deal with over the years, has popped up. And he has a base located somewhere in the Bermuda Triangle, somewhere in our area, we don't know about. But here's the problem. He was the one who was behind the tsetse fly invasion, and he's going to have a whole lot of other things he's going to try to do to us once he knows that we are with a low manpower. So it's going to be trouble from all sides. With the President's Secret Forces in, trouble from all sides. All right, you've been briefed. All right, Colonel Stanton, it looks like we've cleaned up the last of the headless soldiers running around here on Hamilton. All right, Hank, that's great. We'll go ahead and radio back to them, and let's get everybody lined up in a good convoy, and let's get out of here about the next 30 minutes. Say, Hank, what do you make of those that black mist coming in the distance? Oh, I don't know. It looks like maybe it could be some rain clouds coming in. Maybe we got a storm coming on the way. Yeah, it could be, I guess. Okay, Hank, go ahead and call back to the soldiers, and let's get everybody together here. Hey, wait a minute. If those are rain clouds, they're coming awful fast. Hassan, sit down. Alec, I see that you took care of the time soldiers with the tsetse flies. It all worked out good, right? Yes, Dr. Blofeld, just like you said, it worked fine. The time soldiers look like they're heading back, I guess, to Shark Island or one of their bases. Most of the men are going to be in quarantine. They've just like you said, the tsetse fly caused them to lose their energy. Excellent. Okay, Alec, we need to continue to work. I'm going to need you to do that job over there in Washington, D.C. at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. You need to get started on that. Wait a minute. Listen, Dr. Blofeld, I'm tired. I want to get some rest. Rest? How would you like for me to contact Her Majesty's Secret Service and tell them I have 006 here, who's at large? How? So you're going to keep using that against me for the rest of my life? That's right, 006, and you're going to do exactly what I tell you when I tell you. So get to Washington. You know what to do. You know what to do. Mr. Chief Executives, we called you all to the war room. We have an emergency situation. President Roosevelt, do you want to brief the Chief Executives? Of course, President Madison. We just got word that our troops are down in Hamilton, and they were hit by some sort of bugs. The Time Doctor will have to inform us on exactly what this is, but they're going to have to be quarantined. Well, President Roosevelt, we can't have them coming here to Shock. You're going to have to make a place for them on one of the other bases. Yes, President Jefferson. I feel that where we need to send them is maybe down to south of the picket wire, down on our southern base. I think that might be our best choice. President Roosevelt, maybe we should have the colonel from down on that southern base to come up and take over here. Is Colonel Stanton a part of that group? Yes, President Lincoln, he was leading the group, so we're going to definitely need the colonel from the southern base to come up. That's a good idea. President Roosevelt, that would be Colonel Lang. I'll get to work on that right away and get him up here to Shark Island. Who will we have handling things up until then? Well, President Eisenhower, you could, or TR could handle things until the colonel is up. Well, that's bully, Mr. Chief Executives, but we had better not sit around here and waste too much of our time. We sent a good 75 to 80% of our soldiers down there to Hamilton on this mission, and I think we sent too many. Yes, TR, I think you're making a lot of sense. We are really short-handed, and that makes things very difficult and dangerous here on Shark Island. All right, Mr. Chief Executives, I think we need to break up this meeting and get down to business. We need to work quickly and make sure that we take care of all the things that need to be taken care of. Now it's our turn to help out the military, and I think we can do it. We can work quickly. Okay, Mr. Chief Executives, we'll take action now, and each one of us will do our part, and let's break this meeting up now. Thank you for your work. Oh, President Eisenhower, President Lincoln, and President Theodore Roosevelt. It's nice for you to come here. Well, Time Doctor, how are men coming along? Well, Mr. Chief Executive, I'll have to brief you outside of the room, but first, go ahead and look over the men. Time Doctor, is that Colonel Stanton over there? Yes, President Lincoln, that is him. Time Doctor, he looks like he's sweating so much. It's because he is President Eisenhower. His temperature is 165 and rising. Why, Time Doctor, isn't that a pretty high temperature? Yes, it is, President Roosevelt. If his temperature ever gets to 200, he'll die. And over here, Mr. Chief Executives, is General Hank Lee. He's sweating like a pig, too. Mr. Chief Executives, these men are all very contagious. You're going to have to leave now. Time Doctor, my suggestion to you is to head back to Shark with us and get back in your laboratory and try to find an answer to this problem here that these guys have. You have enough doctors here to stand around and do nothing watching over these guys. Okay, if that's what you want me to do, President Roosevelt. Yes, Time Doctor. I think that's a very good idea. Okay, Mr. Chief Executives. Alec, are you sure that this is the soldier in F666, the crypt of the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier? Yes, it was crypt F666 and the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. I know what I'm doing. What do you... And how did those tsetse flies work out on those soldiers in the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier who were guarding it? Did it fix them too? Yes, just like you planned. Everything went just like you planned. The soldiers there are going to have to be put in quarantine too. Excellent. Look, Dr. Blofeld, who is the bloody unknown soldier in Tomb F666? Well, who is this guy? He's the man the Americans have been hiding since they invaded Germany in World War II. The soldier sitting there happens to be Adolf Hitler. What? President Roosevelt. Oh, President Eisenhower, come in. You sounded so urgent over the phone. Yes, Ike, I needed you to see someone. You were out on a mission in another part of the country, and we didn't brief you yet on the fact that Harry Truman has just been out of the time machine maybe only about a week now. Well, that's great, President Roosevelt. I'm glad to hear that. But, Ike, I just got word from the soldiers who guard the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. We've had a theft there last night. Well, Franklin, do you mean vandalism or what? No, Ike, it was a soldier, an unknown soldier, taken. And from the way it looks like it was a planned deal. I think I'm here to try to speak with President Truman to see whether or not he can recall who was placed in a particular vault we had there at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. I think I know who it is, but I want to check with Harry Truman and see if he knows. President Truman. President Truman. What? What was that? What? Well, hello, Franklin. Is that Ike? Yes, Harry, it is. In the flesh, both of us. Yes, how are you, President Truman? Well, my head feels a little cloudy, but I'm going to be all right. Well, President Truman, I'd like to check your memory. There was a situation back in 1944 that we had decided that when we were invading Germany that we would take the leader out in Germany and to rush things up, we would bring him to the United States and stash him someplace. Do you remember that? Well, yes, Franklin. I was going over my notes last night, and yeah, I remember that very clearly. Well, Harry, there was a tomb that was the letters and the numbers were F666. Do you recall in your notes who was placed there? Well, Franklin, that is an easy one. I went over that last night. The person who he placed in F666 without any burial or anything, we just stashed him there, was the head of Germany, Adolf Hitler. Hitler? He was placed in the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier? Why? Yes, President Eisenhower, we wanted to get him out of Germany as soon as possible because we didn't want to have a disruption from the different factions. If we just hustled him out, whether he was charred or what, I don't know what condition he was in. Harry, did you ever see the body? Well, Franklin, I remember seeing parts of his back were pretty much burned inside of his face. I couldn't recognize him. Yeah, but President Truman, couldn't you put him in a dog cemetery or something? I mean, why the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier? I mean, well, Ike, let's not get into that right now. Franklin, is something wrong, or did something happen? No, President Truman. No, just rest up. We're just checking some things out. You rest up, and we'll be back to see you tomorrow. Okay, Franklin. It's nice seeing you again, Ike. Yeah, sure, President Truman. Take care of yourself. Ike, let me speak to you over here. President Eisenhower, now I'm certain that somebody stole Hitler's body last night. But how, Franklin? The men on guard there now are down in the southern base. They were also attacked by tsetse flies. What? So this is a put-up deal, huh? Seems like it, Ike. Someone seems to really be in for us, and they've set us up pretty good. Yes, and they also know that we're short of manpower. So, Franklin, that means Shark Island could be under attack at any moment. Yes, I've been thinking about that all evening. Yes, it looks like we may be facing an attack. Dr. Blofeld, what did you do with your murdering friend? You mean Hitler? He's over there in the time machine. I'm getting ready to send him into time. Why? So he can commit some more bloody murders? You don't like the Fuhrer very much, do you? I should say bloody not. He killed my parents. He killed your parents? How so? They were in Germany when he took over. And when they wanted to return to England, he placed them in a concentration camp and they ended up dying 3 weeks later. So what are you putting him in that bloody time machine for? Because I'm going to send him back to 1930, the way he was then. Then I can use him when I bring him back. Are you sure you know how to do that? Do you know who I am? Yes, I do, unfortunately. Good luck. And what do you think you're doing? I'm getting some bloody rest. What do you think? You'll have plenty of time to rest later. I want you to go to Shark Island, and when I tell you, you're going to let out some tsetse flies there, and we're going to take over that base. What? That's what you think. Oh, that's what I know. Put your bloody mask back on. Why don't you instruct this ugly freak to clean his knife after he gets done killing people? I'll call you from outside Shark Island 006. All right, Mr. Chief Executive, welcome to our Chief Executive's Hall. We're set up here as a command post to try to get things under control here on Shark Island. Major Chang, I need for you to contact over to the Time Doctor's laboratory and find out whether or not he's got any update on whether or not he's come up with a cure to try to help our soldiers down there on that southern base. Also, have him speak to Dr. Bombay down there and find out what's the condition on all of our soldiers. Okay, President Roosevelt, I'll call over now. Well, President Roosevelt, President Lincoln is working with the Time Doctor in his laboratory along with Ben Franklin and the visionist, Dr. Harry Langdon. All right, President Reagan, thank you. That's good. Bully! I'm glad we're getting something started here. We got to get on the move here because we're going to be running out of time pretty soon. President Roosevelt, the special envoy from England is here, sir. Sir Winston Churchill, sir, and his escort from Her Majesty's Secret Service, 007. Well, that's bully. Have a seat over there, men. So, Winston, it's good to see you again, my friend. You just caught us at a bad time, that's all. We're on a low degree of a alert as we're expecting a possible attack. Well, that's all right, Franklin. Mr. Bond and I were being briefed on the airplane coming over here. That's excellent, Winston. Excellent. President Roosevelt, I just received the message that the black mist is in the distance, the same one that Colonel Stanton saw coming just before the tsetse flies invaded. What? Set the attack alarms, and you lookouts, get out of the way. Allow that bulletproof windows to close. TR, do you think that they're sending tsetse flies instead of men to invade? I don't know, President Eisenhower. I just don't know. Well, I think I do. Look at that. Here they come, just like something out of Revelations. My God, Mr. Chief Executives, what is attacking you here? Thing that could be attacking the whole world if we don't stop it. Time Doctor, I was just thinking that since this is a acidity problem, what about just distilled fresh water for the men? Wouldn't maybe that clear this up? That's a good idea, President Lincoln. Maybe we can try that too. Excuse me, Time Doctor. What the devil is going on here at Shark Island? Oh, Commander Lee, welcome back from the north. Never mind that stuff, Time Doctor. What's going on here? I just saw the Padre, and he's going down to the southern base. He says that he's going to give last rites to the men. Well, Commander Lee, the men down on Hamilton had an accident. What men, Time Doctor? And what kind of an accident? Perhaps you should sit down, Commander. I don't want to sit down, President Lincoln. I just want a straight answer. I think I deserve that. All right, Commander Lee, let me explain it to you. Well, it looks like it's time to bring Hitler out of that machine. Oh, what a good nap I had. I better pull Hitler out of the time machine. He must be ready. President Lincoln, I think you are right. In what way, Time Doctor? I purified our water, and in the beaker, the acidity broke down. I believe we have the antidote now for fighting the tsetse flies. That's great, Time Doctor. Let me tell the commander. Commander Lee. What? What's the matter? What happened? The Time Doctor believes that he has a cure for the tsetse fly problem. What? Is that true, Time Doctor? Yes, Commander Lee. But I won't know for sure until you take some of it and then take off down to the southern base and give it to the men. Well, if that's going to save Hank and Colonel Stanton and all the other men, of course I'll do it. What about me, though, when I'm out there on the road? After you take this, it will not affect you. Just wear some glasses and a handkerchief over your face so you don't have to breathe in those gnats if they come around, but they can't hurt you. Whenever you say, Time Doctor, I'm ready to go. That's fine, Commander. And let's hope that it works. Good work, Detective Webb. I see you got all the fresh water here. Yes, sir. I got it. Commander, what kind of a bizarre gun is that you have there? Detective Webb, it holds the fresh water. In case we run into some of those tsetse flies, the Time Doctor's doing an experiment to see what effect it'll have on them. Let's hope if we run into them, it's going to kill them. I hope so. Come on, let's go. Hold up, Detective Webb, hold up.
What is it, Commander Lee? Straight ahead, that black mist coming in the way. That must be those tsetse flies. Don't you see them? Yes, sir. Looks like a sky full of pepper. Pepper, sir. Should I turn around? No, Detective Webb, there's no time. We're going to have to take the Time Doctor's advice. We're going to have to spray them with this light mist of fresh water and see if that's going to take care of them. All right, here they come. Detective Webb, take cover. The rest of you, come and get it. All right, Detective Webb, are you all right? Yes, sir. Are they all dead? Yeah, looks like they're all dead. And I don't think we're going to need these handkerchiefs anymore. Detective Webb, I just thought of something. That means that this water really works. Come on, we got to get this water to that southern base, quick. Yes, sir. So those bloody time soldiers have figured out how to stop the tsetse flies, huh? Well, I bet that Dr. Blofeld is not ready to attack yet. And I'm all out of bloody tsetse flies to release, so let's see. I better bloody delay these men and their trip to try to help those soldiers down on that southern base. I can hold them here. Back up, Webb! You all right, Commander Lee? Webb, I guess I can't use this water gun, though. Can I? No, sir, I don't think so. You see anyone, Detective Webb? Yes, sir. There's a man in black, and he's sitting in a Jeep with a gun pointed this direction. Hey, did you see that? Commander Lee is being held up by somebody there. Colonel Lang, let's see if we can help them open up that road so that the commander can get through to get that antidote down to the southern base. I'm right with you, Commander Bond. Hey, Detective Webb, here's Bond. Hey, you two, get back in your Jeep. Follow behind us. Let us take the lead. We'll blow a hole through there for you so that you can head on where you've got to go. I sure hope they make it in time. Let's see who this rat is. Can't believe it! Commander Lee, do you know him? Yes, Colonel Lang. He was once one of us. He was in Her Majesty's Secret Service. His name was Alec. He was 006. He'd been AWOL for years. But I'm just wondering, was he the only one behind this? Commander Bond, just over there to your right, there's somebody listening in. He's got a mask on. Okay, I see him out of the corner of my eye. Don't do anything. We'll follow him and see where he goes. Well, men, I guess this bloody ends our search. I guess we can take him and go back to Shark Island. He's making his way through those bushes over there, Commander Bond. All right, Colonel Lang, let's get into the Jeep.